Guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to do another video in my North Node in the sign slash in the houses series. So this one is actually North Node in Gemini and South Node in Sagittarius. So before I get started, a little bit of a reason as to why I have these sunglasses on, which is very North Node in Gemini, because Gemini rules how you see, and it rules the eyes. And actually, I have a really, really bad eye infection. So, like, I can't see out of this eye, like, at all. And I can only see out of this eye. And it's bad. Like, my eye is all red. It's bad. I'm taking off work. So, I've just been doing all these videos and trying to get a bunch of work done on here so that I feel better when I go back to work, that I've completed some stuff here. Anywho, that's it about that. So this entire video, you're just going to not see my eyes. I'm sorry for those of you that like, oh my god, your eyes are so blue. Like, sorry for that. But anywho, North Node in Gemini. So before I get started with that, another little side note. I don't want you to think this is the be-all, end-all of your astrology. There's more to your astrology than just your North Node. Yes, the North Node is very important in your astrology and definitely paints a very large picture as to what direction in life you're going in. But that does not mean that that is the only direction you're going in, because there's so many lessons to be learned in this life and so many things to grow from. And the North Node in Gemini is all about that. It's all about growing and learning, especially learning information. So regardless, just don't let one placement or one astrological aspect get you hung up. Because there's more to you than that, and if you really want to learn more about yourself in regards to astrology, it would be good to learn about it and learn, because you're not just your sun sign, you're not just your moon sign, you're not just your ascendant sign, you're all three of those, and then there's all your other planets and houses and aspects and asteroids and all this stuff, and you know, every person's unique, so make sure that you really do take the time to learn about yourself in the astrological sense. So without further ado, let's get started on North Node and Gemini. So if you don't understand the North Node, there is a video in my introductory video that I'll put down in the comments below, which is the introduction of the North Node and what it means. But basically, the North Node means in the direction in which you are going and which you are learning and expanding, and you tend to manifest the higher evolved versions of that sign. The South Node is quite the opposite. It's where you're coming from, it's what you've already learned, and it's where you manifest more than likely, the negative aspects and the negative personalities of that particular sign. So, North Node in Gemini is a very interesting combination. This axis, the third and the ninth, or Gemini and Sagittarius, this axis is all about learning. And it's the lower mind and the higher mind. Gemini represents the lower mind, Sagittarius represents the higher mind. So this is so interesting. It's just, I love astrology and I love just talking about it. But anywho, the Gemini North Node, it has an obsession with knowledge, because the North Node is also shows obsession. So there's an obsession with knowledge, there's an obsession with communication, there's an obsession with words. So these people will learn to become very good orators and very good speakers and very good writers, because that's what they came to do. They wanted to expand their knowledge and expand their information that they share with people. Now, the South Node in Sagittarius, this is a really interesting combination, because Gemini is the third sign, and then it progresses and it goes to Sagittarius, which is the ninth sign. Now, Gemini is the lower mind, Sagittarius is the higher mind. So normally, it would be natural for you to go from the south, like, it would make more sense to go from South Node in Gemini to North Node in Sagittarius, because Gemini is the lower mind, and then you're expanding and going into the higher mind. So you're able to bring these bigger concepts and learn these bigger concepts by bringing and learning about the smaller things and smaller details. That's South Node in Gemini and North Node in Sagittarius. But this is the opposite. So this is a very interesting combination. You have the South Node in Sagittarius. So you actually have a very good knack for philosophy, a very good knack for religion, world cultures, different languages, different countries, different philosophies, because Sagittarius rules philosophy, it rules religion, it rules how you think, what you believe, your belief system. So it's very interesting to see this, because you have the South Node in Sagittarius, which makes that area easy for you, makes that area something that you naturally go towards and are good at. And then you're trying to bring the Gemini stuff and go in the Gemini direction, so you're coming from the higher mind going into the lower mind. So with this, a lot, like the main one that I know about that has this is Teal Swan. Now, she has quite a following, and she's a very good orator. And I'm not gonna get much into my opinion of her, because I have a very large opinion of Teal Swan, but she's a very good orator, and she's very, very good at what she does when she speaks, and she's very good at taking the higher mind and the higher philosophical concepts and all these new age concepts and bringing them into applicable, understandable words and ways of like communicating it. So that's a good example of that the nodes manifesting themselves. So it is very interesting. You're going to find that you're going to be able to understand higher concepts and not really have much of a problem with college and higher education and philosophy and religion and all that stuff, and you're not really going to have much of an issue with higher religion and all that sort of stuff. You're not going to have much of an issue with it. I mean, it depends on how it's aspected. There could be some, like if Saturn's there or something, or Pluto's there, you could have quite a power struggle, or quite like struggles in general in establishing a sense of religion and a sense of beliefs, so it's definitely very difficult for someone with a South Node in the ninth house, or South Node in Gemini, to be able to sometimes grasp their philosophical ideas and their stuff. But once they do grasp it, they're very good at transitioning it into a smaller, more compact sort of way of communicating it, which is what Gemini is. These people are like amazing speakers, poets, writers. They can be very good at foreign languages because they have that South Node in Sag, which is foreign languages, foreign cultures. So they can be very good at speaking foreign languages or exploring foreign countries. They could be very good at like that sort of area of work. Now, the North Node in Gemini, naturally you're going to think that you could write a book, which you can, because South Node in Sagittarius actually rules publishing, so you might have a little bit of a struggle publishing a little bit. It's going to be a little bit, you might have it's weird, because with the South Node, it either manifests as you have a struggle with it, and you can't really establish yourself in that area, or it comes very natural because you learned about it. So it's kind of this area for you that is a gray area that's kind of difficult for you to grasp sometimes, but other times if you work on the Sagittarius things, if you work on the Sagittarius things, you can then transition them into Gemini things very easily. And it's what you want to learn. You came in this life to learn this lesson, and it's very difficult for someone to take higher concepts sometimes and bring them into lower, simpler terms. It's hard to summarize like the theory of relativity, or it's hard to summarize like multiverse, or like those like advanced sciences and stuff like that. It's very difficult to summarize those in words. So the Gemini North Node definitely, I would say, keep writing, keep communicating, keep learning, keep yourself growing mentally. And work on yourself every day, work on your words every day, work on your speech every day, because your words impact people. That's the way the North Node in Gemini is. Your words and the way you carry yourself and the way you speak impacts people. So make sure that you're using the correct words, and make sure you're using good. Because you're able to bring so much energy into a sentence or into a phrase. You're able to do that. It's just you have to study and you have to learn, and that's what you came in to do. You came in to learn facts, figures, numbers, different statistics, and all those things that like Gemini rules, which is like the natural communicator. That the type of communication that isn't really super serious. You're able to communicate about and just have a fun time. So like Gemini could be, or Gemini North Node could be a comedian, could be an actor, anyone that their skill is with their mouth and with their communication, could be a North Node in Gemini. So make sure that you work on yourself, especially orally, as well as like your writing, because you never know who could be impacted by your writing, and you just have this obsession with writing, and it's something that can really, really change the world. It can really change a lot of people if you do it correctly and if you're really focused on it. So yeah, and then when it's in the houses, when it's North Node in the 3rd house versus South Node in the 9th house, these kind of mainly focus on like long distance travel versus short distance travel, because long distance travel is Sagittarius, short distance travel is Gemini. So a lot of the time, you could find homage and like safety in a foreign country. You could find a lot of your growth happens in a foreign country, and maybe you're a travel vlogger, maybe you're a travel writer. There are people that do that, and maybe that's something that you should look into. The having it in the 9th house also makes it, having South Node in the 9th house makes it so that it's sometimes difficult for you to obtain a higher education sometimes. So make sure that you just learn as much as you can, study as much as you can, because information is what makes the world go round, and what makes you valuable sometimes. So make sure that you are doing that and learning and absorbing and being able to communicate the things that you learn. That's really the biggest lesson for the North Node in Gemini, is communicate the things that you've learned, and communicate good things, communicate optimism, communicate higher things, and have conversations with people that are not just basic. Be able to bring in that South Node in Sagittarius energy, South Node in the 9th house energy, and show people that you have words with value, because you do. And keep writing. Don't ever quit. You're meant to be something special in regards to speaking and in regards to communicating. You're meant to be someone special. So make sure that you work on yourself. And like I said, keep learning, keep writing, keep communicating, and you will find the fruits of your labor in the future. So with that being said, that is the end of my video. If you like this video, make sure to put a like down below. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I put out new videos all the time. I do videos about astrology, obviously, videos in Spanish, Japanese, and French, and then I do videos of spirituality, music videos once I get my stand for my piano, and then yeah, I do videos all the time. I absolutely love it. It's a really great hobby of mine. So also, if you are interested in any astrology readings, I do those as well. So if you are interested, put a comment down below, and I will private message you, and we will figure it out from there. You guys are great. I love you. I really wish that I didn't have these sunglasses on, but it is what it is. It's part of life. So you guys are great. I love you. I literally just said that, but I'll just say it again, because why not? Have a great night, day, morning, whenever you're watching this. Just have a great life. Okay? Bye.